So you want to start a healing business, and you might think, okay, I have a purpose and a passion and a gift, and I want to share it with the world, and where do I start? How do I get out of my own way? And what's something that I wish somebody would have told me a lot sooner? Hi, I'm Melissa. Welcome to the studio. Hey, I've been an entrepreneur, it feels like all my life, and I have found myself dedicated and deeply in service to the holistic wellness space. As a healing facilitator, energy work, body work, space holding, coaching, a lot of us get into this place because first and foremost, we have had our own personal healing experience. There has been something in our lives that has shooken us awake and has asked us to pay attention. And when we decided to pay attention, we went on the journey. We went on the healing journey. And to remind ourselves, first, healing is a journey. It's not a destination. So we shall always be embarking upon that next step forward if we choose to move that path. But as a healing facilitator, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I found myself being told one day, well, why couldn't you make money doing Reiki? And that paused me in my tracks. And it was like, yeah, why couldn't I create a financial stability out of this gift that I have found so much deep healing work and just deep reverence for, and has seen the impacts in my own life, and to be able to share that with others? So I think the first step is always just proposing that question to yourself. Well, if not you, then who? And if it is you, why wouldn't you share your gifts with the world? And also, something to consider is that your gifts, to ask your gifts to make you a ton of money can be a very challenging piece to the gift, because I think a lot of us in this space want to be of great service. And sometimes when we want to be of great service, we feel like we should be giving everything away. And I think that there is a value and a time and a place for that. But first and foremost, I want you to know, if you're thinking about opening up a healing business of any sort, there has to be an exchange of energy. And money is the way that we do that. Money is that exchange. Now, if you want to exchange food or produce, or if you want to exchange different services, hey, the best part of being an entrepreneur and owning your own business is that you can do that. And I have definitely done that if it felt super aligned and it felt easy enough for things to be exchanged properly. There are tons of people who've asked, oh, can I trade for this or that? And it's just like, if it doesn't feel right, be willing to say no. And I think one of the biggest things when it comes to being a healing facilitator and owning a business, and yes, you want the clientele, yes, you want to say yes to everybody, but I think if you learned this piece early on, it would save you a ton of time and a ton of heartache. First of all, charge what you're worth. If it makes you a little uncomfortable, that's a good sign. But if you're leaving a session, if you're leaving an appointment with somebody and you feel energetically exhausted, you need to up your prices first and foremost. You're not honoring the energy that you are expending out and the energy exchange coming back in. And the other thing is to really figure out what you are willing to deal with. What are those boundaries? Who do you actually want to work with? Because we can say yes to everybody. Doesn't mean that we should say yes to everybody. I have learned this. I don't want to say I've learned this the hard way, but I've just learned this through experience. I've seen hundreds of people. I've sat down with hundreds of people. I've gotten plenty of yeses for this work, and I've gotten plenty of no's. The no's, hey, God's protection. I'll take that. But some of those yeses that I invited people into care should have been a no. And your body understands that. So I think developing that intuition and that inner state of knowing of what is a yes and what is a no. And I think that if we figure that piece out, if you figure that piece out about who it is that you are truly aligned to work with, you'll save yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of time, and a lot of energy if you're only really allowing to work with people that are strictly within those boundaries of the people that you want to work with. And yes, we want to be here to help everybody, but you know what? We're not for everybody. Not everybody's for me. Not everybody's for you. And you're not meant to work with everybody. There's a bunch of different ways to get to the same health and wellness, I don't want to say destination, but like journey, right? If people are trying to feel, understand, learn, and achieve, whatever they need to on their healing and health journey. But at the same time, like, we're not for everybody. And I think that there are plenty of other modalities that's why you create a good network of people where you could just say, oh, you know what? I know exactly who you should work with, right? And that's that importance of having community around what it is you're doing, because sometimes we just need to pass people along. And that's also a really good feeling to know that, oh, so-and-so recommended me and I can recommend somebody else. Like, that just strengthens the opportunity for our community to be more healthy and well. So yeah, I think I might just leave it right there. So owning a holistic wellness business has a lot of parts and pieces. There's a lot of things that I'm still uncovering to this day, even though I've been in business for 6+ years. I've seen hundreds of people. I've watched incredible transformations, business-wise, continuing to dial that in, especially as industry changes, especially as what people need changes, conversations. Like when I first started this work, nervous system regulation, somatic awareness, trauma healing, like all those were not conversations that I was having regularly with people. Now I can have a better conversation with somebody and they have some type of idea what nervous system regulation is. They have some type of idea what somatics are. Things grow and evolve and change, just like you will over the time that you decide to embark upon your business. But know that creating your best boundaries of who you're willing to work with and setting those boundaries up early is going to save you a lot of heartache. And also, charge what you're worth. Pay attention to how you feel after sessions. If you feel drained, you need to raise your prices. You are worth it. The work that you're doing is worth it. We need you to show up, and there needs to be that divine reciprocity to what it is you're doing. We can't give everything away for free because, the power company isn't giving us power for free. The grocery store is not giving us food for free. There is an exchange. So good luck out there. If you have any other questions about holistic entrepreneurship or wellness and being in the industry and you want to step forward, please throw a comment down below. Would love to answer any questions if I can answer them. And just also be in community and know that you're not alone. There's some of us that are out here doing it, and we're doing it well. I can feed my family. I have a practice. It takes work and it takes dedication. And also we can create the world that we really want to live in. And that just first starts with asking for what it is we're worth and working with the right people, because then after that, everything just kind of works its way through.